Hi students, welcome back to Pharma Syndrome YouTube channel. And today we are going to discussing on the acetylcholine synthesis. Acetylcholine synthesis, nothing but biosynthesis of acetylcholine. So most of you know, acetylcholine is the not one of the one and only neurotransmitter in the parasympathetic nervous system, and it acts by the nothing but it acts by binding to G protein coupled receptors. It acts by binding to the G protein coupled receptors. So in the G protein coupled receptors, especially the parasympathetic nervous system involved by muscarinic receptors. So acetylcholine is binds to the muscarinic receptors, and all muscarinic receptors are belongs to the G protein coupled receptors. And here in your theory syllabus also there is a neurohumoral transmission, maybe neurohumoral transmission of sympathetic nervous system, neurohumoral transmission of parasympathetic nervous system. So like that you may study it. So what is neurohumoral transmission means how a neurotransmitter synthesized, how it will be stored, how it will be released, how it binds to the receptor nothing but target, and how it shows its pharmacological or biological action, and how it shows nothing but after completion of its action how it is terminating, how it is negative feedback, with help of negative feedback mechanism how it is terminating its action. So here there is acetylcholine synthesis. So in this we are going to discussing about the acetylcholine synthesis. The acetylcholine synthesis with help of acetyl coenzyme A and choline. So acetyl coenzyme A with help of choline, it gives acetylcholine, and the enzyme involved here is choline acetyl transferase. The enzyme involved here is choline acetyl transferase. So acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter synthesized in the combination of acetyl coenzyme A and choline, and the enzyme involved is choline acetyl transferase. So this is the synthesis of neurotransmitter acetylcholine. So after synthesis, it have to be stored in the synaptic vesicles. It have to be stored in the synaptic vesicles. So what are synaptic vesicles? These are the pouch-like structures present in the presynaptic neuron for storage of a synthesized neurotransmitter. First step is synthesis, second step is storage. So here the synthesized acetylcholine is transported into the synaptic vesicles with help of a vesicular monoamine transport. So here acetylcholine is also commonly contained amine group, especially it is a quaternary ammonin group, and here transport is amine transport. And with this transport, the acetylcholine is entering into the synaptic vesicles. That's why this transport is called as vesicular transport or vesicular amine transport. Here the synthesized neurotransmitter should be stored to protect from the degradation. Otherwise, if this neurotransmitter is not stored in the synaptic vessel, it may be freely available in the presynaptic neuron, then it is easily degraded by the enzymes like acetylcholine esterase enzyme. For that purpose, what is happening here after synthesis, the acetylcholine is immediately stored into the synaptic vesicles. And so here it is stored in the synaptic vesicles. Okay, good. And after that, it have to show its action when body requires. When body requires, it have to show its action. For example, adrenergic system. In adrenergic system, adrenal is a neurotransmitter. It having positive action on the myocardium. It can increase the heart rate. If heart rate is more, then sympathetic have to be in the downwards and parasympathetic will be dominate. Why? Because if heart rate is more, then body have to compensate mechanism parasympathetic system. With that parasympathetic system, acetylcholine will release, and the role of acetylcholine on heart is relaxation, opposite to the sympathetic nervous system. Like here, when body demands release of acetylcholine, it is acetylcholine releases from presynaptic neuron to postsynaptic neuron. So synthesis, after that storage, after that release. For that release purpose, when the signal is came, when the signal is came to the presynaptic neuron of the parasympathetic system, when signal is came to the synaptic neuron of parasympathetic system, there is a generation of action potential. You know, action potential is a sequence of depolarization, repolarization, as well as hyperpolarization. Here, there is a involvement of depolarization. When depolarization is happen, what will occur here? Into the presynaptic neuron, there is an influx of sodium. Into the presynaptic neuron, there is a influx of sodium with help of sodium channels. That is, sodium channels are comes under nothing but there are different channels like sodium channel, potassium channel, calcium channel, like that. And when sodium channels are activated, when sodium influx occur into the neuron, occur into the nothing but enter into the neuron, what is happening? Indirectly, there is a depolarization. So not indirectly, there is a generation of depolarization. There is a generation of depolarization. So depolarization means entry of positive charge sodium into the presynaptic neuron. And when depolarization is happening, indirectly, the sodium will also activate the calcium channels. When the depolarization is happen because of entry of sodium, that sodium channels indirectly may activate the calcium and increase the influx of calcium into the presynaptic neuron. When this calcium influx is increased, into the presynaptic neuron, this calcium will rupture this synaptic vesicle and increase the release of acetylcholine onto the target, nothing but receptor. Here we know acetylcholine can act on both muscarinic receptor as well as nicotinic receptor. So based on the body demand, it will reach the target site and it shows the pharmacological or biological action. So we know calcium is essential for the muscle contractions. Calcium is essential for the neurotransmitter release. Calcium is essential for the release of hormones from the glands also. So like here, so what is happening for the release of neurotransmitter? There is a generation of action potential. In that depolarization is because of influx of sodium into the neuron, and indirectly that influx of sodium also causes increase of calcium influx into the neuron. So by that there is a release of neurotransmitter. So synthesis, storage, release. After release, it will bind to the target site. It will bind to the target site. It may be muscarinic receptors or nicotinic receptors to show its action. Just a second, students. Thank you. There is a problem unintentionally. So synthesis number one step, storage number two, release number three, and binding to the target. Nothing but target is always receptor that is present on the post synapse. That post synapse may be myocardium, that post synapse may be kidney, that post synapse may be lungs, depend on the body as well as depend on the parasympathetic nervous system innervation. So after binding, next step is the pharmacological action. So it binds to the receptors and it shows action. So that action is dependent on the tissue. It may be different tissues present in the body, and most of the body parts like eye, lungs, heart, salivary glands. So number of tissues are having the parasympathetic innervation. They release the acetylcholine and they bind to the specific receptor and they shows the pharmacological action. So after completion of action, the neurotransmitter have to be terminated. The neurotransmitter action have to be terminated. Why? Because if the parasympathetic action is more, for example, parasympathetic role on myocardium is relaxation, reducing the heart rate. If that parasympathetic action is more, what will happen? The heart rate will go to the 60, maybe 50. That is bradycardia, which is not suitable for the body homeostasis. If heart rate is very low, means there is a chance of heart failure or there is a chance of low BP. That's why once after completion of acetylcholine action, acetylcholine have to be terminated. For this purpose, one mechanism is acetylcholine esterase enzyme. What acetylcholine esterase enzyme do? The name itself indicating it is a type of esterase enzyme causing breakdown of ester group in the acetylcholine. So acetylcholine name itself indicating acetyl, it having the acetate group, ester group. So because of ester group, it is easily breakdown by using enzyme acetylcholine esterase. So that acetylcholine esterase converting acetylcholine to choline as well as acetate. So choline, acetylcholine is breakdown into the choline as well as acetate. Again, this choline is recycled for the further synthesis of the acetylcholine. So now synthesis of acetylcholine completed, storage is completed. After that, based on the body demand released, after that bind to the target tissue, that is postsynaptic receptors, and after that completed the action, and after completion of action it have to be terminated. In the termination, one of the mechanism is by using enzymatic degradation, that is acetylcholine metabolically degraded into choline as well as acetate with help of enzyme acetylcholine esterase enzyme. And here in these two parts, choline again recycled for the acetylcholine synthesis, recycled for the purpose of acetylcholine synthesis. Okay, and another mechanism for termination of acetylcholine action, not only acetylcholine, any neurotransmitter, there is a autoreceptors. So autoreceptors in this muscarinic system or parasympathetic system, the presynaptic neuron contain M2 receptors as a autoreceptors. So these M2 receptors are like these are like a negative feedback system. When acetylcholine release is more, when acetylcholine action is more, then one of the mechanism to control acetylcholine action is there is activation of these autoreceptors, and these autoreceptors interfere with the release of acetylcholine. So simply what is happening, when acetylcholine action is enough, then the autoreceptors present on this presynaptic membrane are activated. So this is a presynaptic membrane. Here there is M2 receptors. These M2 receptors are activated, and this M2 receptors give signal to prevent the release of acetylcholine. So this is the two mechanisms. One is by using enzymatic degradation, and another one by using autoreceptor mechanism. These autoreceptors are also called as presynaptic receptors. What is the definition? Simply, a autoreceptor or presynaptic receptors, they present on the presynaptic neuron membrane, and when they are activated, what will happen? They inhibit the release of own neurotransmitter. That is here, acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter. When M2 receptors, nothing but autoreceptors or presynaptic receptors are activated, they inhibit the release of acetylcholine from presynapse to postsynaptic neuron. And here, at the first we started with the synthesis of acetylcholine. Here the acetylchoenzyme is comes from the inner mitochondrial membrane. The acetylchoenzyme is comes from the inner mitochondrial membrane, and the choline is a functionally alcohol molecule. It is generally available in the body. Okay, so this is a simple neurotransmission of acetylcholine. How it is synthesizing, how it is storing, how it is releasing, how it is binding to target, how it's showing pharmacological action, and after that, how it is terminating with help of metabolic degradation as well as with help of autoreceptor mechanism. Next, so this is for our general purpose, for general understanding of how acetylcholine is synthesizing, and what is the neurotransmission in the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, students. And next, the important thing is for your competitive exams as well as your MCQs, there is a how drugs are targeting. So here acetylcholine synthesis is happening. So when acetylcholine synthesis is more, how drugs are targeting the acetylcholine synthesis? This is very, very important. So here, first there is a botulinum toxins. Botulinum toxins. So what botulinum toxins are doing? They are blocking the acetylcholine release. So botulinum toxins, generally they are called as Botox preparations. Even in cosmetics, there is a Botox preparation like a beauty cream. They use this botulinum toxin. So you can go through the other Google source. What is botulinum toxin? Why it is used in the cosmetic preparations like Botox? So here, what is botulinum toxin is doing? It having negative effect on the acetylcholine release. So here, acetylcholine have to be released to show its action on the target, and it have to release from the pre-synapse to post-synapse. But the release of acetylcholine from the pre-synapse to post-synapse is inhibiting by botulinum toxin. So acetylcholine blocks release of acetylcholine from pre-synapse to post-synaptic neuron. Always post-synaptic neuron means target binding receptor. This is one. And next one is Vesomicol. So based on this drug, there is a chance of asking questions on the competitive exams. Here Vesomicol. So what is Vesomicol is doing? Vesomicol blocks vesicular uptake of acetylcholine. So generally after synthesis, acetylcholine have to store in the synaptic vesicles with help of a transporter. But Vesomicol, what it is doing? Vesomicol, it is doing, it inhibit the transporter. Which transporter? The transporter which is responsible for the transport of acetylcholine into synaptic vesicles. But Vesomicol is a drug, the name itself indicating Vesomicol. Vesomicol inhibiting the vesicular uptake or vesicular storage of acetylcholine. Then acetylcholine is freely available here. They may be inactivated by the enzyme. Vesomicol is doing that work. Next, hemicolinium. Next is hemicolinium. Hemicolinium blocks the choline reuptake, choline uptake. So here, the acetylcholine in presence of acetylcholine esterase break down into choline as well as acetate. But here, choline is again reuptake for the further synthesis. But when acetylcholine synthesis is higher, one of the remedy is application of hemicolinium. What it is doing? It blocking choline uptake. Further involving of choline in the acetylcholine synthesis is blocking. Then no choline is available. Then acetylcholine synthesis will be not occur. So by this mechanism, the three drugs are having different mechanism which are opposing acetylcholine synthesis or acetylcholine storage or acetylcholine release. Hemicolinium is affecting acetylcholine synthesis. Vesomicol is affecting acetylcholine storage in the synaptic vesicles. Botulinum toxin is affecting release of acetylcholine from presynapse to the postsynaptic neuron. So this is simply the neurohumoral transmission of acetylcholine as well as different drug targets on the acetylcholine biosynthesis. Okay, thank you.